Hello everyone, my name is Singh. I am from Montreal, Canada, working as a mobile software engineer at Manulife and Google Developer Expert for Android and GDG organizer for Montreal. So now we will discuss or explore the new tool which is introduced in Android 13. It's called PhotoPicker. So at this moment, the Android 13, it's in platform stability point. So it probably by end of September or like in next month or two, it will be released to the public that we can use it. So in the meantime, we will explore like what is introduced, like the features and all that stuff. So one of those features is photo picker. So before actually deep dive into this tool, we will see the reasoning behind this, like why we actually need a new tool for selecting images or videos in our Android applications. So the first major concern or the reason is like the runtime permissions that if you are Android developer, like if we want to access images or videos or like reading data from users device storage, we need to ask first permissions, and then if they allow permissions to our application, then we can only move forward, which is, as a developers, we really need to manage that efficiently, because these are the runtime permissions. They are considered dangerous permissions. So every time like user wants to, if we want to allow user to select image or video, we make sure we check the permissions and follow the proper best practices for asking for the permissions. But with this tool, we don't need any permissions. It will just like we will launch the intent or this tool, and from there we are good to go. And whenever users select anything from the tool, we get the data back into our application and we can move forward with that data. And second thing is about, it's the standard tool. So it's there is no currently there is no any support for customizing the UI, like how it behaves or how it look like. So this provides a better consistency for, like, in terms of external consistency. By what I mean by that is, like, if there are 10 applications in your Android device and they all have some sort of functionality where user can select any image or video, with this tool user get the same feel even if they are in different applications, because the look, like the UI wise and how it behaves, it will work same for all the devices. It's not just like there is a way for customizing some stuff, but you from UI wise there is no way that we can customize its user interface. So these are the two major reasons like why this tool was introduced. So now we will see like what is PhotoPicker tool. So it's basically the interface, like the browsable interface where user can browse through all the media that they have, for example images and videos. And it's a searchable interface, like user, they don't need to scroll, like if if they have 100 images, they don't need to scroll all the way from all the content to find what they want. So they can also perform search and select image in their content from there. So there are also some limitations, although it has a lot of benefits. But the limitation is right now it's only available for Android 13. So if you are targeting older SDKs, because that's the most of the cases for Android developers, we are not always just targeting one version. So if you are targeting 12, 23, all the way back to whatever version, in that case you still might need to, if you want to use this tool, you can like wrap the wrap the launching of this tool in by checking the build SDK version of your of the device at when in the runtime. So if it's 13, you can use this tool. Otherwise, follow the older way, which is like ask for permissions and then go from there. And I have added the link for the future improvements in the docs. It's mentioned that the Android team, like the framework team, they are planning to provide support for older versions up to Android 10, which is really good because Android 10 and higher versions almost cover the 90% market of that Android devices. So we are really, as a developers, we get a chance to actually work with this tool for a quite good market or quite good user audience for the Android devices. But for the moment, it's only for Android 13. And now we will go through the implementation, like what we can modify or how we can modify, like how we can manipulate the behavior of this new tool. There are some default settings that we can change. So to how to launch, like how to launch this tool, there is a media action added in the media store. So if you see in the code snippet within the brackets of the intent, that's the new action which is used to launch this tool, which is called action pick images. And by default, media selection image limit is 1, so that when we launch this tool, user can only select one image or a video at a given time. But if we want to manipulate or modify that limit, we can provide the extra information when we launch the intent. If you see in the second line, there is a new constant added in the media store, like the property that we can use to provide the information when we are launching the tool, like, hey, we want more than one images or videos our user can select. So in this case, I provided two. So this is how we can actually modify the limit. By modify the limit, that doesn't mean that as a developers we have like a full freedom that we can say like 1,000 or whatever number we want. There is a space limit which is based on the platform. So if we want as a developers want to provide a freedom to the user that they can select more than one, in that case we also need to respect the limit that platform has provided. And how we can know that limit, the code is there. It's from media store. There is a method called get pick images max limit. So if that limit is, for example, say 10, then we need to respect that limit when we are passing the maximum limit in the intent extra information, which is in this case is 2. So that extra information needs to be respected when we want to customize the how many images or media content videos user can select. And then the next thing is the MIME type. So by default, user can select any image or video from this with this tool. But if, for example, in our use case or in our Android applications, we don't want user to select videos, we only want them to allow to select images. Then when we launch the intent or when we create an intent, we can pass the type. We can set the type. This code is written in Kotlin. If you are familiar with Java, that type equals to image slash star or type equals to video slash star is basically calling the method set type, which is in Java, because in Kotlin we getter setters are not there. So we just directly call the properties without actually having those set type or get type stuff like that. So if you only want allow user to select two images, you can define the type equals to images, which is first line after the intent one. And then if you want only videos, we can also define that. By default, user can select images as well as videos. So that was the overall, the all about the tool, like how it works, like how we can modify it. And in the demo, I just have the screenshot added here. So you just need to launch the intent. For example, when you launch this intent, this is the UI. So on the left side where you see the small bottom sheet, the behavior of this tool is also depend on the max limit. So by default, when we don't provide any customized max limit, it's just a 1. So when it's 1, then the PhotoPicker tool, it was open in half screen mode, which is on the left side, so that user can select only one media file at a given time. But if we customize the limit, for example, I said 2 here. In that case, if the limit is defined more than 1, then in that case, the PhotoPicker tool, it's open in a full screen mode, which is on the right side. And if you see, there is a circles on all the media files, so that user they can know that they can select more than one file. So that's all about this quick overview of this tool. It's really simple and easy to use. We don't need to worry about the permissions. We just launch and get the data from here. And here are the references. The first one is about the Medium article. I have added the sample repository there. You can check the code, like when you select the image, how to process the data in our application. And then there is a references for, yeah, there is a last reference that you can check for the code which is on GitHub. It's public, and the last second one is about the PhotoPicker. Like if you want to read on the official documentation about this tool. So that's all from my side. Thanks. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.